Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Zoom with Chip. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch some of our videos that we have here. It's been nice. Well, it hasn't been nice, but with technology the way it is, I've been able to kind of at least reach out and talk to a few people who have been affected by COVID. I mean, ultimately, we've all been affected, but some more than others for sure. As I mentioned before, this COVID-19 has been a game changer, and it's my number one priority as far as my campaign goes, bringing families and making our community whole again. I've always been able to work with other people. That's just how I've always presented myself. And this is not a time for any type of partisan politics or sniping back and forth between the two parties. This is when we really need to kind of come together and work with everyone involved. I've been involved for 30 years on a local level, so I have a lot of experience working with people. And when I become your state representative, I will absolutely hit the ground running because of my years of experience. And I'm very fortunate to have a relationship with Governor Baker. So I'm able to reach out to him and meet with him on a regular basis. Once I do become state representative, I don't need necessarily an appointment to go see him, so we can get the funds back here that we so desperately need. So today I'm talking to a high school senior, Mattingly Provost, who is the class of 2020. And it seems like, when the history books look back at this whole time, they're going to look back and said, "Oh, wow, you were the class of 2020 because you guys are going through something that none of us could have ever anticipated." How when you guys started school in September, I'm sure you had all anticipation of, can't wait to senior show. I can't wait to kind of do all those end of the year events that we do. How have you been faring through this whole thing and your classmates, Mattingly?
Well, it's been tougher on some than others, but when you start the school year in September and you're looking forward to doing all the things that you've seen your older friends do all these years, and then out of a sudden the coronavirus hits and everything's put on a halt, it certainly takes some time to adjust, I would say. You're really stuck at your house. There's not much you can do. You can't go to the field with your friends. You're not in class talking to your teachers. But over time, I think that we've come to accept the situation as much as it stinks. I think some of us are pretty grateful that at least this is certainly a consequence that will take over losing your job, putting your health in jeopardy. There's certainly worse things going on, but yeah, there's certainly some.
Yeah, it is tough. I'm on the school committee in town, and I know when this whole thing first hit, we were talking to the superintendent about, geez, I hope we can just at least salvage senior show, because you guys were in the middle of rehearsals for senior show, and I think the senior show was supposed to occur maybe the weekend after we had the shutdown. Was that right?
Yeah, we were about into the last week of rehearsal. We had some good ideas, but fortunately, people won't get to see it.
I know. And it's kind of one of these things where it kind of, the moment is somewhat lost, because we've been talking. I know Mrs. Nemeth, the principal at the high school, has been, working very hard to create some type of a celebration as best as she can. I know I was out working one day, and her and her husband were out putting all the cups at the tennis courts, seniors 2020. They've got signs for all of the students. Teachers have signs in front of their house. I mean, they're doing the best they can with a really, really bad situation. And then, graduation, of course, is that real nice rite of passage where you get to walk across stage, your family's there, and that's certainly a loss for you as the seniors, but it's tough for your family too, because I'm sure your family has been looking forward to kind of seeing you walk across the stage. And how is your family coping with everything in the senior year for you guys?
Yeah, it's difficult as well considering that you have a lot of family members that are older in age, such as grandparents and aunts and uncles, and the coronavirus kind of restricts your access to them within the administration because they've done their best to ensure that throughout this entire ordeal from kindergarten to 12th grade that have always been there to support you. So it means a lot that they were able to do it.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a delay there. You were kind of chopped up a little bit, but I did kind of get it towards the end, is what you're saying. So what's your plan for the fall, Mattingly, and what's the next step for you?
We're going to go to Holyoke Community College. They did announce that they're online to start the semester, so there won't be a change in scenery for me quite yet. But hopefully after 2 years there, we'll be able to transfer to UMass and do accounting.
Oh, great. Outstanding. Regarding the whole kind of remote learning thing, so as you mentioned, HCC's already announced that they're going to be doing all of their classes online next fall. You've been experiencing some of it a little bit towards the end of your senior year here. It certainly can't replace being in a classroom, but in your opinion, how is remote learning going for you?
It hasn't been bad. I think for a senior, it's a little easier because you're kind of already in a period where you're almost wrapping up the content of the course. It surprised me how well that some teachers were able to do it. It's kind of nice to have all this technology available, but as you said, there's no replacement for being in a classroom and learning from the teacher there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, one, as again, being on the school committee, we've had a lot of discussions, my colleagues and I and the superintendent. And one thing that is very concerning is, you know, students with an individualized education plan or some other type of special education need. I do worry about those students and how they are able to adapt to remote learning. You know, when it requires a lot of self-motivation, a lot of discipline at home, and like you said, you're just not getting the full content. Do you have any thoughts on how remote learning might be affecting students with some type of disabilities?
I can only begin to imagine how that's so. I mean, you know, there's a lot of members of Ludlow High School, and I'm sure other schools as well, that have a great relationship with their teachers in the physical school itself. I mean, it's something that maybe you don't think about every day because, you know, people like me are so fortunate to be able to make this transition. It must be difficult.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really hopeful, you know, that in the fall we can get our students in some form. You know, the governor hasn't really kind of given us the guidance yet as to where that's going to fall, or certainly the Department of Elementary Education hasn't given us the guidance yet because it's still kind of rolling out. But if HCC is already online, I can imagine other colleges. I think the University of California, their entire system has already announced that they're going to be online next year too. So it may be kind of the wave of the future for the near future anyways, that we can get, hopefully we can get back. They're talking about a vaccine sometime possibly this fall at the earliest, but maybe next spring at the, you know, more likely. But that's probably when we're going to be getting back to some type of normalcy, is when there's an actual vaccine in place. Now that we've kind of gotten into phase one and things are starting to open, are you and your friends making any plans? What do you envision your summer looking like?
Well, we know that phase one just begun for Massachusetts. We'd like to think that by the time we graduate and the middle of June rolls around, we'll be able to go to the beach or hang out, find ways to get the summer going so that we can still enjoy the time that we have together. There's certain things that probably won't be possible, large gatherings, sporting events, and stuff like that. But hopefully, we'll be able to use our youth to our advantage and our ability to be healthy during this pandemic.
Yeah. Have you guys, you and your friends and your peer group, have you been using technology? Have been doing Zoom meetings or Zoom parties
We
or
have.
whatever?
We've played a lot of video games. I don't think I've ever played so much video games in my entire life, to be honest with you. But we use Discord, which is an app which allows you to voice chat with your friends. We've been doing that very regularly. We've taken walks through the woods, keeping social distancing as much as possible. That's really the best way that you can go about it during this time.
Yeah. And, you know, this has really hit our economy quite a bit around here too. You know, we all know people who have been affected economically that have been forced onto unemployment rolls. And I don't know, are you working? Are you doing anything to kind of, you know, bring in some income? Did you lose a job? Where do you stand as far as that goes?
I'm going to be working in the summer. I'm not exactly sure where, but my father and my mother, I'm very fortunate to have them both be working. My father lost his job during the pandemic, but thankfully he gained one very quickly, so there wasn't much of an impact there. Very lucky.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, we all kind of know somebody that's been affected in that way. I've been very fortunate to kind of keep on working from home, and my wife's a nurse, so she's kind of ground zero when it comes to this whole thing as well too. Well, hey, you know, good luck with everything. I do appreciate you giving me some time here today, and kind of get a perspective from a high school senior. And good luck. You said you're going to study accounting at HCC and then going to UMass.
That's correct.
Outstanding. That's great. Well, it's a noble profession. I wish you all the luck in the world. And I'll be seeing you. I know we're kind of doing our drive-by graduation this week coming up, so I'll be there. I'll be standing on the sidewalk with your teachers as we stand 6 feet apart from each other, but we're kind of doing our rolling graduation. And then are your parents going to be participating in that as well?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, good. Should be fun. The weather looks good like that for today. Yeah. So, well, Bentley, thank you very much. Good luck. I'm sorry this whole thing has affected you in such a crazy way, but you're going to have a story to tell your grandkids, and it's
right.
kind of, you know, you just never know what's coming around the corner. So one thing your generation is kind of getting used to is adapting and moving on, no matter what it requires. Is that right?
That's absolutely right.
Very good. All right, Mattingly, appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you hopefully around town.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.